In this video, we'll take a closer look at the iPhone 14 Pro from a smartphone filmmaker's perspective, and we will also discuss why I'm not recommending that you should get one in case you already have the 13 Pro. And what's up everybody, my name is Julian, I'm the creator of Smartphone Filmmaking Pro, and I'm super excited to have you all. iPhones have always been known to have some exceptional video quality, and I think ever since the iPhone 11 Pro they really have taken a leap forward, and they have always been ahead of the curve compared to the competition, at least in my opinion. The original goal for this specific video was to be a comparison video of the iPhone 13 Pro versus the 14 Pro, and I have already been outside and taking some test shot, and to be honest, when I was looking back the footage, there was not a lot of difference between the 13 Pro and the 14 Pro, and this is also the reason why I actually ditched this comparison, because this comparison summed up in a few sentences is, in case you already have the 13 Pro, in my opinion it's not worth getting the 14 Pro over that. In most scenarios they are very similar. Yes, there are definitely a few things where the 14 Pro shines over the 13 Pro. For example, cinematic mode with 4K at 24 frames per second, also with the larger sensor, and the ultra wide is just a little better. But to be honest, if you take a look at the end results that you get with the 14 Pro and the 13 Pro, in my opinion, it's just not worth upgrading. But does that mean that the iPhone 14 Pro is a fail and that it flopped? In my opinion, absolutely not. It does more mean that the 13 Pro already has been absolutely amazing, and yeah, I think that's the conclusion. When it comes to the cameras of the 14 Pro, the most dominant feature and the feature that Apple has been talking about the most is the all-new 48 megapixel camera, or the sensor rather. And what does that mean in a day-to-day usage when you're using the iPhone 14 Pro? To be honest, that means absolutely nothing, because if you're just taking regular photos, you're still getting a 12 megapixel photos. What Apple has done, yes, the sensor has gotten bigger, but since there are 4 times more pixels on the sensor compared to the iPhone 13, the pixels also got smaller. And you know, the end results look very comparable to the 13 Pro. The reason for that, like I said, is mostly that you are getting a 12 megapixel image because they are just processing it, and you are getting a processed 12 megapixel image. In case you want to get the full 48 megapixel shot, then you can do that. You just need to switch to the Apple Pro RAW. Then you get the full 48 megapixel photo. That is roughly 50 to 60 megabytes per photo. And comparing that to a regular JPEG that you're getting with the 13 Pro or also with the 14 Pro, these are only like 3 to 4 megabytes. So the file size of the Apple Pro RAW is absolutely gigantic. Something that I did notice with the 14 Pro when I was comparing it to the 13 Pro, and that I was, very pleasantly surprised, was that you could actually see, or you could actually notice that the sensor now is bigger compared to the 13 Pro. When you're using the regular camera, the wide angle lens, and you're filming a person in like, I don't know, a meter distance or maybe a bit longer than that, you get some natural shallow depth of field without using the cinematic mode. And that is just really nice, and this makes me very curious to see what the future will bring, because I'm absolutely certain that sensors will get better and apertures will get wider open. So I think the future of smartphone filmmaking is very bright. Something that I also really liked when I was shooting with the 14 Pro is that Apple has now also given us the opportunity to have a 2x zoom rather than the 3x zoom. Well, not rather, but now you have both options. Because you now have such a high megapixel count, you have the option to go with the ultra wide angle lens, the 0.05, then you have the 1x, the standard lens, and then additionally to the 3x lens that we already had before, you now also have a 2x option, and that is just really nice because the 3x lens sometimes just is a little bit too close, and now you have just something in between. So in conclusion, if you have been listening a little more closely to this video, you can see that I actually really like the iPhone 14 Pro, but in the opening statement I claimed that it is not worth it upgrading over the 13 Pro. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is it is far more important that you actually learn how you can use the gear and the smartphone and the program and the apps and all of that you already have to its fullest potential. In my opinion, that is far more important than always having the newest gear. And this is also the reason why we have created Smartphone Filmmaking Pro in the first place. Smartphone Filmmaking Pro is the ultimate online course about smartphone filmmaking with currently over 230 tutorials and over 23 hours of super high valuable content. This is by far the biggest and best school where you can learn how you can film and capture some professional looking videos with your smartphone or with your iPhone. In case you would like to get a free taste of what Smartphone Filmmaking Pro looks like, you can click on the first link below that like button. That will bring you to our totally free webinar where I shared top 5 secrets to shooting cinematic videos with your smartphone. So in case you're interested in that, definitely make sure to click the link down below. So now we have talked a lot about the 14 Pro and also the 13 Pro, and we have compared them a little bit. But what if you have an older phone, let's say the iPhone 11 or 10 or maybe even the 12 Pro? And to be honest, I can say in case you have the iPhone 11 or older, I can 100% definitely recommend that you get the iPhone 14 Pro. It will definitely be night and day better compared to what you have right now. And in case you're having the iPhone 12 Pro, well, then this will be very interesting. I do have both the 12 Pro and the 14 Pro here in the house, and I will do a comparison video of these two, a more in-depth one where I'm really comparing them side by side, where we take them out and where we shoot different scenes, different scenarios, and where you can then decide for yourself like, okay, I'm having the 12 Pro and is it worth upgrading or not? This video will come very soon, and in case you would like to see the best filter system for your iPhone, then make sure to click this video up there. This is a truly disruptive innovation in my opinion. There's a full video up there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.